Application details. This is relevant to the applications we need to fill in order to give information to the person who is hiring us or for the organization where we are going for some course or for some diploma or for any other activity. The students need to be taught about this because while filling the application, those parts where we need to just tick in the box are very easy for them. For example, the application is asking for the gender of the student, and the student would know whether he has to tick in the male box or she has to tick for the female box. So that is quite easy. But the part where the application requires more details and they are actually asking for previous skills, when they are asking for our experience, they actually are hinting towards the skills we used while performing that particular job in order to know us or in order to know our strengths and weaknesses and to see whether a person fits in for that course or whether a person fits in for that particular job or not. So in that case, the students need to be taught how to fill in those details in order to make it very easy for the person who is looking at the application to understand the abilities of the student. Therefore, it is the job of the teachers to tell their students to use words which are precise, but at the same time they explain a lot about the characteristics, abilities, strengths of the applicant. The easy way to do is that the teachers should be getting hold of some applications and doing the practice in the classroom with the students. And it can differ whether the level is at secondary level or whether at higher school level. They can use the forms accordingly. Usually the students have an experience to fill in the forms for their examination, or sometimes when they are going for further studies, they are supposed to be filling in the forms in which they have to give the details. For example, which was their favorite subject. Now, when they are talking about the favorite subject, they would also be instructed to write in the block for about 50 words. The students need to be very careful that they do not really write only for 20 words, because that would show that the student is not able to explain what was his favorite subject. So in that case, the teacher can do a lot of practice with the students, providing them with vocabulary and helping words and useful language to fill in that block and say, okay, this was my favorite subject and why it was my favorite subject or how it became my favorite subject. For example, it can be said, history is my favorite subject. I started liking history when I wanted to know about how Pakistan came into being. As my father told me, there were many stories about how the country became independent and how our leader worked for the independence of this country. So that was the time when I became interested in knowing what were the happenings during the year that we achieved independence. So this is how the application can be made interesting, and it will also show that the person who is applying for the position or is applying for the course is really interested in doing that because he has certain aims. So this writing, which is informative and at the same time very formal, will give a lot of information for the person who is looking at the application. In case the students are unable to do such applications, the teacher needs to show them some samples of the applications done. And I think it is a very simple resource material to get if you can collect some applications which are already done from the school office and show it to the students how the applications have been filled in. Of course, the confidentiality of the documents must be maintained, but otherwise the teacher can show the samples of such forms to the students to make them understand that the applicants need to fill in details so that people can review the applications well.